Two people have the exact same business idea, same product, same target customer, same city. One of them builds a struggling business that barely breaks even. The other builds a thriving one that grows steadily year after year. What is the difference between them? In most cases, it is not talent, it is not timing, it is not even hard work. It is the structure they chose for how their business makes money. In other words, their business model. Welcome back to the Business Foundation series. This is episode 6, and today we are talking about one of the most overlooked decisions a new entrepreneur makes. Most people spend all their time thinking about what they will sell. Very few people spend enough time thinking about how they will sell it. And that second question matters just as much as the first. Before we go further, if you have been finding this series useful, I want to ask you to do two things right now. First, subscribe if you have not already, because every episode in this series builds on the last, and you do not want to miss what is coming. Second, share this episode with someone you know who is in the early stages of building a business. The decision we are talking about today is one that most people make by accident, and most people get wrong. In episode 5, we built a one-page business plan that covers what you will do and who you will serve. Today, we go one level deeper into one of the most important sections of that plan: how your business actually makes money. By the end of this episode, you will understand exactly what a business model is and why it matters. The 4 main business models explained in the simplest possible way, how to choose the right one for your specific idea, and real-life examples of each model working in the real world. Let us get into it. Let us start with a definition. A business model is simply the way your business creates value and gets paid for it. That is it. Not complicated, not academic. Just what do you do, and how does the money come in? But here is why this matters more than most people realize. Your business model determines everything downstream. It determines how you price your offering. It determines how you find and keep customers. It determines how much it costs to deliver what you promise. It determines how quickly you can grow. And it determines whether, over time, your business becomes easier or harder to run. Two businesses selling the exact same thing can have completely different financial outcomes simply because of how they structured the way they get paid. Let me give you a real example that makes this crystal clear. Think about music. 20 years ago, if you wanted to listen to music, you bought a CD. The music industry was built on a product model. You paid once, you owned the album, and the artist and label received money from each sale. If people stopped buying, the money stopped. Then streaming arrived. Spotify, Apple Music, and similar platforms moved the entire industry to a subscription model. Now, instead of paying $10 to $15 for one album, people pay $10 a month and access millions of songs. The money comes in every single month, whether the customer is actively engaging or not. Same product, music, completely different business model, and the financial outcomes are dramatically different. Subscriptions create predictable recurring revenue. Products create one-time transactions. One of those is far more stable and scalable than the other. Now here is the important point. The decision of which business model to use is not random. It is not about what feels comfortable. It is about which structure best matches your product, your customer, and the way value is created and delivered in your specific situation. Getting this wrong is expensive, not immediately, but over time. A business that is structured the wrong way finds itself constantly chasing the next sale, struggling to predict income, and running out of energy long before it runs out of ideas. Getting it right creates a business that has momentum. Each period builds on the last. Customers return on their own. Revenue becomes more predictable, and growth becomes a natural outcome rather than a constant battle. So let us look at the 4 main business models. And as we go through each one, I want you to think honestly about which one best describes how your own idea creates and delivers value. Business model number 1, the service model. In a service model, you sell your time, skill, or expertise to solve a specific problem for a customer. The customer pays you for what you do, and you deliver a result. This is the most common model for people starting out, and for good reason. It requires almost no upfront investment. You do not need to manufacture anything. You do not need to hold inventory. You need a skill, a customer who needs it, and an agreement to exchange money for a result. Examples include freelancers of any kind, consultants, coaches, cleaners, plumbers, lawyers, accountants, teachers, graphic designers, photographers, mechanics, and personal trainers. Any business where a human being performs a task or delivers expertise in exchange for payment is operating on a service model. The strengths of the service model are significant. You can start immediately. Your overhead is low. And if you are good at what you do, Word of mouth builds your client base naturally. But the service model also has a fundamental limitation: time. Because you are selling your time and skill, your income is directly linked to how many hours you can work. There are only so many hours in a day, and once you fill them all, your income hits a ceiling. You are, in a sense, the product. And you can only be in one place at once. This is why many service businesses eventually try to move into a different model, by hiring people to deliver the service on their behalf, or by productizing their knowledge into courses or materials. We will come back to this in a moment. Real life example. A young woman starts a social media management service for small businesses. She charges a monthly fee per client to create and post content on their behalf. She starts with 3 clients. Her skill is her product. Her time is how she delivers it. Pure service model. Business model number 2. The product model. In a product model, you create something once and sell it multiple times. The product exists independently of you. It does not require your direct involvement every time someone buys it. Products can be physical, like clothing, food, furniture, or electronics. Or they can be digital, like an ebook, a downloadable template, a software tool, or an online course. In both cases, the key distinction from a service is that you do not have to be present for each transaction. The great advantage of the product model is scalability. Once you have built the product, you can sell it to 10 people or 10,000 people without proportionally increasing the work you do. That is a fundamentally different relationship between effort and income than the service model. The challenge is that products require upfront investment. Physical products require manufacturing, storage, and logistics. Digital products require creation time and a platform to sell through. And both require you to actively drive traffic and generate sales, because the product does not sell itself just by existing. Real life example. A man who is passionate about fitness creates a 12-week home workout program as a downloadable PDF and video series. He spends 2 months building it. He uploads it to a platform and sells it for $30. Every time someone buys it, he earns $30 without doing any additional work. One product, infinite sales potential. Business model number 3, the subscription model. In a subscription model, customers pay a recurring fee, usually monthly or annually, to access a product, service, or ongoing value over time. The subscription model is widely regarded as the most powerful of the four for one simple reason: predictable, recurring revenue. Unlike a product sale, which is a one-time transaction, or a service engagement, which ends when the work is done, a subscription continues to generate money as long as the customer remains subscribed. This creates something in business called a predictable revenue base. You begin each month already knowing approximately how much money is coming in because you have existing subscribers. You do not start from zero every month. That stability changes everything about how you run and plan your business. The challenge of the subscription model is that it requires consistent, ongoing delivery of value. If customers do not feel they are getting enough value to justify the monthly payment, they cancel. So you must keep delivering, improving, and giving people a reason to stay. Real life example. A nutritionist builds a private online community where members pay a monthly fee to access new meal plans every month, a weekly live cooking class, and a private group where they can ask questions. Once she has 200 members each paying a monthly fee, she earns a predictable monthly income from that community alone, whether she signs a single new client that month or not. Business model number 4, the marketplace model. In a marketplace model, you build a platform that connects two groups of people who need each other, and you earn money by facilitating that connection. You are not the one selling the product or delivering the service. You are creating the infrastructure that brings sellers and buyers, or service providers and customers, together. Your value is the platform itself, the trust, the discoverability, the transaction process. Examples include Airbnb, which connects property owners with travelers; Uber, which connects drivers with passengers; Etsy, which connects handmade goods sellers with buyers; Upwork, which connects freelancers with businesses; even a local community group on WhatsApp that connects local service providers with local customers is, in its simplest form, operating on a marketplace logic. The marketplace model has enormous scaling potential because you do not have to deliver the core product or service yourself. As your platform grows and more people use it, the value of the platform itself grows, which attracts even more users. The challenge is that marketplaces are hard to start. They suffer from what is called the cold start problem. A marketplace with no sellers is useless to buyers. A marketplace with no buyers is useless to sellers. You need both sides before either side sees value. Getting that initial critical mass requires significant effort and often significant investment. This model is less suitable for someone starting a small business alone, but understanding it is valuable because elements of the marketplace model can be applied at a smaller scale. For example, organizing a local vendor market where you bring together local artisans and local shoppers is a micro marketplace. Real life example. A woman in her city notices that local small businesses struggle to find trustworthy freelance designers, photographers, and writers, while creative freelancers struggle to find consistent local clients. She builds a curated local directory of vetted creatives, charges the businesses a small listing fee to access the directory, and charges the freelancers a monthly fee to be listed. She is not doing the design or photography herself. She is connecting the two sides and earning from both. Now that you understand the four models, how do you choose the right one? The answer is not about which model sounds most impressive or which one you have heard the most success stories about. The answer comes from honestly asking four questions about your specific situation. Question 1. What am I actually selling, and how is the value delivered? If the value is primarily delivered through your personal time and skill, you are most naturally a service business. If the value is embedded in a thing that exists independently of you, you are most naturally a product business. If the value is in ongoing access and relationship, you are most naturally a subscription business. If the value is in connecting two groups, you are most naturally a marketplace business. Question 2. What do I have the capacity to deliver consistently? A subscription model requires ongoing content or service delivery. If you cannot commit to consistently creating new value every month, do not start a subscription. A product model requires upfront creation. If you cannot invest the time to build the product properly before you start selling, do not start there. Be honest about your capacity, not just your ambitions. Question 3. What does my customer actually want to pay for? Some customers want to own something. They prefer a one-time purchase. Other customers hate committing to a monthly charge and will only pay when they need something. Others love the convenience of ongoing access and are happy to pay monthly for it. Knowing your customer deeply, which we covered in episode 4, directly informs which payment structure they will accept. Question 4. What are my financial goals in the first 6 to 12 months? If you need money quickly, the service model is almost always the fastest path to cash. You can start earning within days if you have the right skills and the right connections. Product and subscription models typically take longer to build and longer to gain momentum. If you have more time and can invest in building something up front, a product or subscription model may serve you better in the long run. One more important thing I want you to understand. These four models are not mutually exclusive. Many successful businesses use a combination of two or more. A personal trainer might charge by the session for one-on-one work, which is service model, while also selling a downloadable workout guide, which is product model, and offering a monthly online coaching community, which is subscription model. Three income streams, three different structures, all serving the same customer and the same niche. The strategy of combining models is called building multiple revenue streams, and it is one of the most powerful things a business owner can do for long-term stability. But the key word there is building. You do not start with all three. You start with one, the one that matches where you are right now, and you add the others as your business grows and stabilizes. So for now, choose one, the one that best fits your idea, your capacity, and your customer. Get it right, then build from there. Let me bring all four models to life with one consistent real-world example. I want to use the same type of business for all four, so you can see clearly how the same core idea produces completely different structures depending on the model chosen. Let us use cooking knowledge as our example. Imagine someone who is an excellent cook and wants to build a business around that skill. Under the service model, this person becomes a personal chef or a meal prep service. They go to clients' homes or take orders weekly. They charge per session or per batch of meals. Their income is direct and immediate, but capped by how many clients they can physically serve. Under the product model, this person writes and sells a cookbook, or creates a set of downloadable recipe cards, or films a series of cooking tutorial videos and sells access to them as a digital course. They invest time up front to create the product, then sell it repeatedly without being physically present for each sale. Under the subscription model, this person creates a monthly membership where subscribers receive a new themed meal plan each month, a weekly live cooking class on video, and access to a private community where members share results and ask questions. The monthly fee might be modest, but with enough members, the total monthly income becomes significant and predictable. Under the marketplace model, this person builds a platform that connects home cooks, people who genuinely love cooking and want to earn money from it, with busy families and professionals who want home cooked meals but do not have the time to cook themselves. Think of it like an Airbnb but for meals. The platform earns a percentage of each transaction without cooking a single meal itself. Same skill, same industry. Four completely different businesses with four completely different financial structures, growth patterns, and day to day operational realities. Now, which of these is the right one for someone starting out with cooking knowledge and limited resources? Almost certainly the service model first. It requires no upfront investment, it generates income immediately, and it gives the person direct feedback from real customers about what they value, which informs everything they might build later. But the service model alone has limits. So the smart move, a few months in, might be to begin building a simple digital product alongside the service work. Then, once there is an audience of satisfied customers, consider whether a subscription makes sense. One step at a time. Start where you are. Use what you have. Build from real evidence, not theory. That is a wrap on episode 6. Here is the single most important thing I want you to take away from today. Your business model is not a technical detail you figure out later. It is a foundational decision that shapes everything about how your business earns money, how it grows, and how sustainable it becomes over time. Make it consciously and deliberately, not by accident. Here is your homework before episode 7. Look at the business idea you have been developing throughout this series. Ask yourself honestly, which of the four models best fits where you are right now? Service, product, subscription, or marketplace? Write down your answer and your reasoning. Then ask yourself whether there is a second model you could realistically layer in later, once the first is working. That single piece of thinking will do more for your long-term business strategy than most people manage in their first year of operation. If this episode gave you clarity, please subscribe to the channel so you do not miss what is coming next. And leave a comment below telling me which business model you are going with and why. I read every single one and I would genuinely love to hear what you are building. In episode 7, we are going to tackle something that trips up almost every new business owner: pricing. We are going to talk about how to actually calculate a profitable price for what you sell, the psychology behind why people pay what they pay, and why charging too little is just as dangerous as charging too much. That episode is going to change the way you think about money in your business. I will see you there. Take care of yourself and take care of that business.